Welcome back to Young and Wifed Up. This is Marcella.
And I'm Gabby.
And thanks for joining us this week for another episode.
Before we get started with today's episode, I want to give you a quick reminder that if you have any holiday shopping that you have to do, Earth Hero is one of the places that you should take a look at for all of your gifts. In fact, I just bought a few gifts from Earth Hero myself, and they have lots of deals going on right now. And if you want 10% off, you can use our code Young and Wifed Up at the checkout.
And also be sure to check out our Facebook group, Young and Wifed Up. And then also, if you'd like to support us financially, we do have a Patreon. If you'd like to become a patron, there are 3 different tiers that you can choose from, all with different benefits and perks. Yeah.
Cool.
If you'd like to support us.
One of those perks is bonus episodes. So if you want to hear more of our hot takes on the internet, that is where you can find all of our bonus episodes. A couple of the bonus episodes are for all of the tiers, and the rest of them are for the sister and queen tiers. So make sure you check it out.
Yep.
Okay. Let's have a catch up. How are you doing?
Good.
Yeah. Good. Both of us were really sick recently. Well, you were taking care of sick children.
Yes.
And I was very sick last week. So
Pretty sure everybody had the flu.
Yeah. If I sound a little raspy still, it's just like the tiniest.
If I sound a little raspy.
Start talking like Gollum. If I sound a little raspy, it's because I just have like the tiniest bit of, congestion left over. So if you hear me go, it's because I'm struggling, okay?
It's because I can't breathe. Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, so one of our recent bonus episodes was on our cold and flu hacks.
And so did you use all of them?
Believe I did everything you could possibly imagine. There was one thing that is not in there that a homeopathic fever reducer that I tried upon your recommendation, and it legitimately stopped my fever like almost immediately. Yeah. And I had a fever all day that day, and it was horrible. And I was like, I can't just wait it out anymore. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it was one of the Boiron. I don't know.
Boreon. I don't know. I'll put it in the show notes because I really think it's like a miracle. Because honestly, like I was just so shocked how fast as it was going like down, I could feel my fever going away. It was that fast acting, and it's natural, and comes from herbs, and it's just thank you, Lord, for his creation.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's kind of like the biggest thing, and I also have. It's been concert season, and so tomorrow I'm doing my last concert, and I'm ready to be done with concert season.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It is a lot, and I'm super tired, and I injured my hand earlier in the week from overuse and playing too much, and it's just kind of, feeling the fatigue, but it'll be a fun, exciting concert. I'm very excited for it, but I'm also really ready to have a break.
Yeah, totally.
From playing piano. Anyway, so that's kind of what's been going on with me. Anything new with you besides taking care of the sick babies?
Yeah, that was rough because one of the weeks Eli was sick. And at first we thought it was like a 24-hour bug situation.
Yeah, like a stomach bug.
We didn't think it was like anything crazier than that. And then Seth got the same thing like maybe 4 or 5 days later, which was like
next level.
Yeah, and I think it was a little bit worse for him. So Seth is still kind of recovering. He's like 100% normal now. Yeah. But he has like a cough and like, like that lingering. It's just like, ugh. But thankfully, Jed and I did not get sick at all, which I was surprised because like when you have sick children,
coughing in your mouth,
like when they're literally spitting in your mouth, you just like can't avoid it.
Yeah.
But we were taking all of the stuff. And
one of the things to help. Marcella made fire cider, which we talked about in our last cold and flu bonus episode.
I broke it out, yeah.
And I almost died, and so did Ryan.
I think Ryan did die.
Ryan was super close to throwing up, like legitimately throwing up. And he has a really sensitive gag reflex, so I'm really surprised he didn't.
He didn't, yeah.
But yeah, it looked like tar. And it tasted like tar. It tasted worse. So
it tastes like fermented tar.
I was just like,
I think because like I'm so used to taking crazy stuff on a daily basis.
So am I, though. This is on a whole nother level.
It was really intense.
You cannot put it on the same level as the other stuff.
I don't know, because I do like the adrenal cocktail powder, which you didn't like, and that is very mellow compared to what the fireside.
I don't know.
And I didn't even put peppers in it because when I was making it, I went to 3 stores and could not find organic like hot peppers anywhere. It was really weird.
We would have had an emergency room situation. An ambulance had to be called.
I think because I was chugging that stuff, I was making Jed chug that stuff, and we were doing all the things like zinc, like literally everything. What else? Oh, echinacea extract. Echinacea extract, my body responds really well to echinacea extract, so that really helped too. So thankfully we didn't get sick.
Must be nice.
It was really nice. But it's not fun taking care of sick kids. That's rough. So yeah, but I don't know when is this episode going up this coming Monday?
Yeah.
Okay, so Seth will be 3 today when it goes live.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is really
crazy. Time flies. I remember he was only a few months old when we started Young and Wifed Up, and Ryan was watching him in the other room.
We always talk about Manny.
Yeah, Ryan the Manny.
Aww.
I miss those days. Those were the good old days.
Yeah, where we were like a few doors down from each other.
That's the best.
Yeah, so he'll be 3, and we're just doing like a small little birthday dinner situation. Yeah, that's probably the most exciting things that have been going on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it is about to be. Well, we've technically been in the holiday season since November.
Yeah.
And we wanted to do an episode talking about all of the things that we do to make the holiday season warm, and things that we do with our families, or things that we'd like to do. And so we're gonna just go straight into that. Sorry, I'm just a little brain fogged right now.
No, so am I.
So once we get going, I'll be solid, I promise. Wait, guys,
really quick, I just want to apologize. Like the past 4 or 5 episodes, it sounds like I'm like down the hall talking to people.
She's in a fishbowl.
Yeah,
she wasn't talking into her mic.
I wasn't all. So I'm like trying to be very deliberate that I'm talking into the microphone.
She sounded like she was like,
oh hi, so anyway. And then your voice was super clear, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's just so great. Anyway,
well, it'll be better this time.
And then also all the
Yeah, I'm never going to apologize for that, because this is just who we are.
Okay, mine has really gotten very excessive. It's too much
it's now. It's because we think we're talking to our homies, so it's so casual.
Yeah.
I just say, okay, so, all the time. Okay, so.
So anyway.
We're professionals.
Yeah.
We're professionals.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about Thanksgiving.
Okay, yeah.
This is my favorite holiday that is accepted in the Christian community. I don't want to say that Halloween is my favorite holiday, because it legitimately isn't, but I just like scary things and to be scared, and so but we're not going to talk about Halloween. That's very controversial.
That's very interesting coming from a high anxiety person.
Yeah. It's I can't justify it. It doesn't make sense. I love skeletons. I love paranormal
spooky things.
Anyway, but that's not what we're talking about
today.
About Thanksgiving. Let's talk about Thanksgiving. So our Thanksgiving traditions.
This will be for next year, because we're already past it.
Yeah.
So plan ahead.
So some of these traditions, somebody told me a few years ago after the holiday had happened, and then I incorporated them the next year because I was so excited.
Yeah, so just come back next year.
Yeah.
listen to it again.
Totally. So Thanksgiving traditions. What we do in the Peacock household, every Thanksgiving morning we have a kind of big special breakfast because we usually do dinner like at 3 on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
And so since it's kind of in the middle of the day, we don't do lunch. So we kind of have
like a dinner situation.
Yeah, we have like a bigger breakfast. So this last time I did the pumpkin pancakes from Trader Joe's and a big thing of bacon.
Were the pancakes good?
Yes, so good. I love like anything seasonal from Trader Joe's. Just count me in. Any season, even right now, like the winter season stuff they have, count me in. I love it.
Yeah.
And then one thing that one of our elders' wives back in the day, she told me this a few years ago when we were really early in our marriage. She said that her and her family, with her son, her husband, every year they read a Thanksgiving Day proclamation from a president. And they pick one, like, you know, a random proclamation, and they read it together as a family, and it's like a fun tradition to do. So I decided that we would incorporate that a few years ago. And so every year since then, we've been doing it. And we've done, let's see, I think so far we've read George Washington's, 2 of Abraham Lincoln's, because obviously most of the presidents served like long terms.
2, yeah.
And then we've done Ronald Reagan. And then so what we do is we find one from the past and we read it, and then we read this year's. So whoever the president is at the time, we read that one as well. And it's really encouraging to see, like, look back in history and see like the priorities of who they were thinking.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, it's kind of disputed whether or not our country was founded on Christian, you know, values and principles, but it is kind of shocking to see the contrast of how like they were legitimately thinking the God of like the one true God, you know, a long time ago, or not even that long ago.
Yeah.
And how it's kind of shifted to like this very inclusive, like generic deity, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just really interesting. And so we do that together. And then afterwards we do like a family worship together. And then we do, we have a sheet of paper and we write 10 things that we were thankful for that year. And then we read it to each other, and like it's usually very emotional, and we cry because we're reflecting on that year. And sometimes sometimes we put like sentimental things, and then sometimes it's like silly things. Like I remember last year Ryan put that he was thankful for this really amazing play that happened in the Dodgers, and it was just like a highlight of his year, you know. And so it's not all serious, you know. Like we put like silly things that we were thankful for, like hobbies or like fun memories that we have together. And then we also, you know, put serious things, and it's like a sweet memory, and then Ryan files it away for us so that, you know, over the years we can look through them and reflect on how the Lord has blessed us. So that's our Thanksgiving things that we've been doing since we've been married. So what about you and Jed?
I only have 2 very simple things. I've been trying to do cinnamon rolls for Thanksgiving morning. Usually I'll do like scrambled eggs or something with it, because typically cinnamon rolls by themselves is just like will make you crash.
Yes.
After
some
an
bacon
hour
or sausage
whatever.
on the side.
Yeah, some kind of protein. But this year I prefer homemade cinnamon rolls. I mean, they just taste way better if you can find a good recipe. But I like
dropped the ball.
I totally dropped the ball this year. And I realized like the morning of, I was like, oh no, I need to make cinnamon rolls. So silly me ran to the store on Thanksgiving where
my gosh,
everybody's
you're a psychopath.
like, yeah, literally everybody's like, everyone and their mother is at the store last minute like panic shopping to get all of their Thanksgiving stuff. But thankfully I just got cinnamon rolls, and then I got a couple of other things too, that some extra stuff that we needed. So I was like in and out of there, no problem. But so yeah, we did like I just got like the Pillsbury like cinnamon rolls.
Whatever.
I mean, they were still good.
They were good.
Yeah, they were still good. So like, you know, whatever I remember or have the time for that day. And then also I've been really liking doing like nightcaps with Jed, like after everything's cleaned up and everybody's gone and like dinner's over and like everybody's just kind of like settled in for the evening. Like it's just nice to have like a quiet moment with him, because usually it's like he's
a family day.
He's typically like watching the boys, hanging out with them and stuff, and I'm like in the kitchen
the whole day.
Like preparing stuff and all that. So then it's nice to have a moment with just the two of us, because we don't really get that like at all during the day. So yeah, that's about all we do. I'd like to add more things. Oh my goodness,
me too. I think at some point, like I'd really like, once we have a house and a really big table, that we can take turns hosting Thanksgiving, and it's not just us relying on our parents and our in-laws.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Of course that will come with years and bigger houses.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so this is where I kind of come out of the Christmas closet a little bit. So please forgive me. So I'm not going to talk about it for too long, but I just need, it's like the elephant in the room, because we are talking about holidays. So my husband and I don't celebrate Christmas. We haven't celebrated Christmas the entire time we've been married. And then Ryan, before we got married, hadn't celebrated Christmas for a while now. Kind of over the years, we've kind of changed like what we're comfortable with and what we're uncomfortable with participating in. And it's not for the usual reasons that Christians will abstain from Christmas. Like I hear a lot of people say, oh yeah, it's because it's so pagan, or, you know, that sort of thing. And that's not really the reason why we don't celebrate Christmas. The biggest thing, like you could obviously just message me if you have a question, because it's kind of like a super in-depth reason, or it's just like not
it's a non-conventional.
Yeah. And so essentially it's just like because we have like a view of the Sabbath, and then we also have a view about like what's proper in churches and worship services and stuff. Like we abstain from Christmas because we don't believe that there should be a holy day outside of the Sabbath day. So that's kind of like the biggest reason. So if it's like a Christian holy day, we just we think that the scriptures are clear that the Sabbath is the only holy day, and that there's like civil days that we can, you know, participate in. You know, Thanksgiving, of course, we're happy to participate in, and other non-religious days of like feasting and giving thanks and stuff. So that's kind of like where our family is at. And honestly, it's like it was really hard the first few years, because like I grew up loving Christmas and stuff, and honestly, I really don't think a lot of people know that Ryan and I don't celebrate Christmas, because we kind of are really low key about it.
Yeah, you guys don't really talk about it.
We don't really talk about it. If somebody asks or like says, like, I won't say Merry Christmas to somebody. I'll usually just say thank you, or I'll say Happy
Holidays,
or And so it's just kind of an awkward topic for me, because I want to be like super sensitive to other people, because obviously like it's not that we don't want to like give gifts or like enjoy a special time of like winter, because we still do that. It's just that we don't participate in like the religious
Christmas
aspects.
Specific,
yeah. So anyway, all of that to say, now that we've gotten that out of the way, you could obviously message me if you want to yell at me or, you know, tell me I'm wrong. But again, we've been doing this our whole marriage, and we're going to continue. So it's not really going to change my mind. But anyway, so even though we don't celebrate Christmas, we do try to make winter a special time, because we love the changing of the seasons. And we don't just celebrate the changing of the seasons with winter. It is our, like, we do prefer like the cold, and I celebrate fall like it's crazy. Like I love fall. I celebrate the whole time, you know, the cozy, and
it's a welcome respite from the horrible summers we usually have.
Especially like out here. Like I feel like I have opposite seasonal depression, where I'm depressed all summer and then I'm like thriving in the cold weather.
Wow.
Relatable. So we still celebrate, you know, the times. I decorate with winter vibes in the house. We don't have a Christmas tree, and we don't like have any like signs that say Christmas, or there's no like Christmas paraphernalia anywhere. There's no nativity scenes or anything, but I have like forest scapes and like winter animals and snow and snowflakes and, you know, just kind of stuff. We do like, I do little twinkling lights in the kitchen, you know, super low key. And then I do like reindeer or like little animals and stuff. But, so that's like how I decorate and make it feel warm and make it feel like the seasons have changed. And then because Ryan and I love to give gifts, it's a part of like our love language. We love to bless others, and we love when we're blessed with gifts. We try to be proactive with our families and with our friends and like coordinate and schedule a time where we can host them and we can do a gift exchange and still do the things that we love that make us happy and brings us joy and warm, fuzzy feelings. But it's not like violating our, you know, our convictions about Christmas. So I've really enjoyed that because I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. You know, I feel like the first couple of years,
you're celebrating in a different way. I feel like different reasons.
The first couple of years of being married, it was like really clunky and awkward, and like I didn't really know, like, and so I feel like now we have it like set up.
Well, and plus like the majority of people you interact with on a regular basis already know like what your guys' convictions are, and so I feel like at first, like the first couple of years, you're like having to explain to a bunch of people why you don't. But now it's like you've already been doing it for a while. People already know. Yeah, so it's like you're not having to have those conversations.
And they're gonna get a gift anyways. So it's like you're not losing
anything. Yeah.
So anyway, so we try to be proactive and have us like a winter gift exchange, like in the beginning of December, and then during actual like Christmas time, Ryan and I, since I'm usually off of work, you know, or he gets a few days off, even though we don't celebrate the holiday, we go on a vacation together, and that has been like such a sweet time for us to spend quality time together and reflect on our year and prepare for the new year. So that's kind of like how we kind of skirt the Christmas thing. But you celebrate Christmas, so what traditions do you guys do?
I have none. What? You guys, I have been struggling because, like, I see people do all of these really great Christmas traditions, and none of them have really resonated with me. Where I'm like, yes, this is like the Chatham thing. Yeah, like this is our thing. Yeah. Like, I just haven't been able. I don't know. Give me suggestions, guys. If you have, if you're in our Facebook group or if you're on our Patreon, I don't know. What do you guys do for Christmas traditions? Because some of them just feel so cheesy and like, and like so, I don't know what the word is. Cheesy and
cringy.
Yeah, but also like predictable. You know, just like
maybe you need everybody. Some of that in your...
I don't know. I don't like that.
I don't. Not really you.
No, it's not.
It's not your style.
It's just not my style. Like, I want something like unique. So I'm still thinking about it.
Just come to the dark side, and then you could be unique with me. That is.
You have to talk to Jed about that one.
Very true. Very true.
But yeah, I don't. Yeah, we do celebrate Christmas. We don't. We don't have the same convictions as Gabby and Ryan. We don't. I mean, yeah.
But it's because we're crazy. I promise. It's not like everybody in our church. I try to tell people, like, because people are like, oh, it's like a reformed thing,
right? It's like, no,
it's not necessarily. There's a spectrum.
And there are a lot of reformed
we know a lot of people that don't celebrate Christmas, and
for the reasons that you were talking about. That's not your reason, but there are other reasons.
Yeah,
I don't know. I have to think about it and keep looking into what I'm gonna do. And also, I feel like I'm like,
you're not really a Pinterest mom though, and I think that's like what's different about you is like
you're not like I don't do crafts. Like I just. No, I don't do that.
I know, as much as I want to be, I'm like, okay, I need to think of something really cute, like for Ryan and I. And then I'm like, oh, it's just so much work. I just want to make a nice meal and like watch a movie.
I don't know if it's so much work, but it does kind of like make me cringe a little bit. Like, I don't know. Gosh. It just like gives me the ick. Like,
Marcella's judging all of you.
I'm not. I just like, for me, like just some things I just can't. It just feels so cheesy and corny, and I just don't like cheesy and corny. I'll have to think of things that are not cheesy and corny, and I'll be like on a time crunch because as the kids get older, like I want them to like remember, like having traditions in our family like during these times of the year. I think is very important because I remember like things that we did growing up.
So many traditions.
And like those are things that like I hold those memories dear to my heart, and I want our family to have those same things. So I need to get on it.
Wow.
It's bad.
Poor Marcella. Let's pray for her. Okay, New Year's. This is my favorite holiday outside of Thanksgiving. And
I do.
I think,
really like
you know
New
what?
Year's,
Now that I
too.
think about it, it's just every holiday that I celebrate is my favorite. Because there's only
At
like
that time?
3. Because I can only celebrate like 3 holidays because we don't celebrate Easter either. You've kind of like figured that out with the whole holy day thing.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't think you guys do either. But yeah, it's just like silly. Yeah. So because of that, I'm like, oh my gosh, now it's my favorite holiday. Now it's my favorite one. But anyway, New Year's. I love New Year's because I feel like it is very cheesy and corny, but I love feeling like I have a fresh start in life. And I think that the new year just always brings those feelings up. So what we do is New Year's Day in the morning, we've been having a tradition with Ryan's parents that's when we go see them and do our gift exchange with them. And then we have mimosas and cinnamon rolls and play Rummy Cube and just have a really chill morning with them. And I love that because then I know, especially like if we've been hanging out with friends and I'm just a little hungover, I can count on those cinnamon rolls in the morning and I don't have to worry about it. And yeah, that's a really sweet time. So I've been loving spending New Year's morning with brunch with the Peacocks. And then during the weeks that I have winter break from teaching, that's when I do like a full house reset, go through all of our belongings.
Wow, yeah.
And that makes me feel like I have a fresh start, a clean slate to start the new year with. And so, and yes, also Ryan participates in that too. And it's not his favorite time of year, but it's mine. So I tell him to go through all of his hats and his shirts and, all the things that he loves and get rid of a few things. and
scale down a little bit.
So that's a tradition that I do every year, and whether or not that's festive or not, I don't care. And it's just like,
no, it's
something I can count on.
Yeah, still, I would consider that a New Year's tradition.
And then I always buy, like, during that time period too, I like buy and prepare either a digital planner, which I've been doing the past couple years, or in the past I would get a fresh new planner at Michael's or something. So this time I've been getting increasingly picky of what I want my planner to look like because I want it to incorporate like the Fly Lady stuff,
specific things,
and then the mother culture stuff that I want to do. And so I just ended up making my own. So we'll see. I might make changes to it, and maybe I can add that as a Patreon exclusive if anybody wants it. But it's a digital planner that I made literally yesterday because I've been thinking about it. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, I usually will get a planner ready and start making my goals and self-reflect and stuff. And it's all the super cheesy corner things that people tell you to do during the new year. But I genuinely do feel like there's something about feeling like there's a new fresh start, and then it just like changes your brain. I don't know. It's really helpful for me to become remotivated. And we're going to talk more about that at the end of the month. So yeah. What about you for New Year's?
So we've been doing, you guys have been participating in this New Year's Eve tradition, which is New Year's nachos, where we do sheet pan nachos. And last time we had all of the family over, like my parents and grandparents and all that. So we just had massive amounts of nachos spread across the table, and everybody just kind of like digs in, gets what they want, gets their toppings and stuff. And it's a really easy dinner too. It's very cheap. Yeah, definitely. And, people can contribute, what they want to toppings and all that stuff. So yeah, we've been doing that every year. And then also I've been kind of back and forth. There's this one, for like actual New Year's Day, there's a breakfast strata recipe, which that's very hard to explain.
It's like a quiche without a crust.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Yeah, I would say. But the thing, okay, I might be changing it because the thing that's hard is that you usually have to do a lot of prep the night before. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it's just too much work and it'll take too long the morning of. And like on New Year's Eve, you don't want to be in the kitchen the whole time. No. Like you want to be hanging out and like,
have doing a glass of champagne.
Yeah. And then usually we like will, instead of the breakfast strata, I'm thinking I saw this really cool thing on TikTok. It was like a chocolate croissant star pastry situation, which looked really yummy. So I might try that this year to see if I like that, and then kind of swap it out with the breakfast strata situation. So yeah, there's that. And then we usually watch the ball drop.
Yeah, but we don't watch the performances because it stresses us out. It's also just bad. Like, it's just cringe. Talk about cringe.
It's gotten worse. Worse and worse.
But we wait until, I think, 1 minute, and then we flip on the ball drop.
Yeah. We'll be watching other things or, like, playing games or, like, you know, just hanging out and stuff. And then, at the very last second, we'll turn on the TV. And that's always fun. And, you know, we have, like, sparklers sometimes or, like, we have, like, poppers, and we'll go outside and, like,
and then we literally immediately leave and go to bed.
Yeah, typically. Yeah. So then what I've been doing is for New Year's Day, I go to bed early.
Wow. That's
New
smart.
Year's Day night. So January 1st, it's like early bedtime.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that too. 8 p.m. Catch me in my bed.
As soon as the kids are down, everybody's down.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, that's about all we do for New Year's as far as I can remember, like, traditions
I'm very excited for New Year's nachos.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so the last thing I want to mention is, I kind of alluded to it when we were talking about Christmas, is we believe that the Sabbath day is an instituted holy day, holiday. And so every Sabbath we try to make it really special. We talked about this in depth, kind of like how we prepare for the Sabbath day.
Yeah.
I think a month ago is when we did that episode. Yeah. And that was more talking about how we prepare for it, but we didn't necessarily talk about what we actually do that day. Yeah. So one thing that we do to make it really special is we spend it with other people. So I'm just going to kind of quickly go on the rundown of how we make the day special. So usually this will happen in the evening after we've all had our Sunday naps. The kids are refreshed. We had, Sunday worship and stuff. And so we will host typically 3 out of the 4 weeks of the month. And we just have a feast together with our friends and family, and we sing hymns and psalms together. We read scripture together. We talk about the sermon text from the morning. And then we just spend like quality fellowship together. And honestly, it is my favorite day of the week. I've talked about it before. It is just like a sweet time that I can count on. And I'm excited, like, as we grow older and we introduce children into our lives, just doing a lot of things to make sure that they feel like Sunday is truly set apart and it's holy and it's different and it's, a day to look forward to. It's a day of delight. And so we try to create a culture in our circles of like feasting and rejoicing together of Christ's birth and life and death and resurrection every Sunday, so that, that's something that we're constantly reflecting on, and we all look forward to spending time together and celebrating that holiday every Sunday. And so I think it's just a huge blessing. Like, if you haven't studied the Sabbath before, we have some resources in our Patreon account about it, but it's just like truly a holy day and a day that I really look forward to. And I hope that as, we get into bigger homes and we have more kids and all that stuff, that we can do even more things to set it apart and make it really special and holy, and doing like maybe more kids activities, like more structured activities, or, I really like when we all like gather around together and sing together, and maybe we can have like, Ryan and I have thought about like, oh, what if we did a night where we all just like did song requests and like sang like 10 songs or something like that.
Yeah. And sometimes our church will host like a hymn sing or a psalm sing. Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a really special time. And so I encourage you, if you are thinking about or praying about keeping the Sabbath day, like to think about different ways to make it really special and to make it a holiday, because it truly is like a beautiful day that the Lord has given us. And when we rejoice together with other Christians, it just makes it even more sweet. So anyway, that's kind of all I got. Do you have anything else on your mind about holidays and what we do to make it special?
No, I don't think so. I think we covered everything.
Maybe we can do a follow-up episode when we're like way more seasoned mothers and wives, and we'll have way more answers for this, because it's a
lot of trial and error the first like
and I'm sure
decade.
you guys can relate. I'm sure you guys can relate. You know, some things kind of didn't take, and then other things like
one of the things I didn't mention was I think I've talked about this before, is I like to do what you're talking about, like a life reset situation. And I loved doing that. I was very on top of doing that every year. And then you have kids, and that gets really hard to do. And plus, like, the timing was always really bad, because, like, I had Seth in December. Mm-hmm. Like a few weeks before, like a couple weeks before the New Year's. And so I was like, well, there's no way I'm doing that. Like, there's no resetting here. I'm just trying to survive postpartum. And then the following year we did like a vacation with all the family out of town. And then the next year after that, I was still in my 4th trimester with Eli. So that was again, surviving postpartum. But maybe this year I'll try to get back into it a little bit.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
And there's just honestly, we'll just have to talk about this in our New Year episode, because there's just so many good resources out there, like for any stage of life that you are. And I just feel like, I don't know, we should always reflect on what we can do to make the new year feel like it's a fresh start, because it just does something to your brain, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Anyway, thank you guys for joining us today. And if you are already a patron with us, we have a bonus episode coming up at the end of this week on Friday, and make sure you catch that. We're going to talk about all of the books that we've been reading and what we've been enjoying, and even stuff that we haven't been enjoying so much. So if you want to hear all of our takes on our current reads, then join our Patreon account and you'll see that episode on Fridays. So we hope you guys have a blessed day. Bye.
Bye.